And now for something completely different.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my bullpen of sin. Because do I strike you as somebody who's religious? Probably not. Do I worship false idols? Well, maybe these ones on occasion, but then again, I like the original organic real deal. Because yes, while I may idolize boobies and will never give up, something has happened to me in the last few weeks that's made me think, is there more to life than just these possessions right here? Now, some Christians will probably say, why on earth do you have things like The Punisher and The Godfather Part 2 and Elvira at the very end, which you'll see later on? Well, an extreme portion of Christians will actually not want you to idolize entertainment like this, but I, on the other hand, have different reasons to look at things with a broader perspective in mind. Now, let me just entertain you a little bit while I sit back down here, let the opening titles run, and then we'll get on with today's video. Hello, Elvira. Say hello. Oh, hello.
Yes, hallelujah. It's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
So as you know, I'm a big fan of Reacher, the TV series. Alan Ritchson is a very interesting devil of a man. Now, I say devil as in not in the literal sense, but you know, this guy almost deleted himself a few years ago, and thank the Lord he didn't do that, because otherwise we wouldn't have the brilliant series that is Reacher on Amazon Prime right now. But he's actually got his own YouTube channel, InstaChurch, and he's made quite a few videos, and he's got a fair amount of subscribers. But I want to talk about two videos in particular that's kind of got me going on this train of thought. And by the way, before you're wondering, no, I'm not some rogue AI who's taken over Kung Fu Hot Dog. This is the real deal. And don't worry, I'm not going to go all preachy and sermony on your ass. But so, like I said, some things have happened to me the last few weeks, and I want to share them with you. I love you, my parishioners from all different walks of life. Shall we hear this portion of Mr. Ritchson's video?
Reacher. I love telling this story. I love playing a character who creates a kind of moral ambiguity that we should struggle against as we consider whether or not what he's doing is good all the time or morally right. I think that kind of thing is fun and fascinating, and I think escaping to that world as an audience, hopefully it's as enjoyable for you as it is for me to help bring it to life. But it's funny to me how a lot of people criticize me, supposed Christians especially criticize me for playing Reacher, as if the only TV that should exist is seeing people silently folding their hands in the pew of a church. I mean, what kind of stories are we supposed to tell?
Well, Mr. Ritchson has a very good point indeed. Turn to BBC One, Songs of Praise, parishioners putting their hands together and praying for the next lottery win on their ticket. Or we can go across the pond to Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy to see what latest devious plans they have in store to destroy Star Wars and all of their invaluable IP.
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Okay, if you've never seen Reacher, fantastic TV series. Again, we've got to thank Tom Cruise for actually spotlighting that character with his own Jack Reacher movies. I still prefer the first one. But of course, the reason why Christians are in an uproar about Ritchson playing such a violent character, I mean, he's only violent when he needs to be. And when you think about the acts that he carries out on the screen, is to save millions of lives, as he did in the recent season on Amazon Prime. Now, what happened at the end of that season, Jack and his fellow investigative 110th Division boys and girls come into $65 million through ill-gotten gains that belong to the bad guys and girls that they defeated. Actually, it was all guys. And in the response to that, Jack Reacher is, yes, he's a morally ambiguous character, but also he knows the difference between right and wrong, and also enjoys a very good Clark bar. I happen to love Clark bars myself. But what does he do with the money? Now, he could just take the money and run, but then that wouldn't make him a likable character. What he does is to actually distribute the money to people who are threatened by Robert Patrick's character of Langston throughout these 8 episodes. And I thought that was a very bittersweet ending. What did Jack want for his troubles, for his time, the money that he gave to people? A Trailblazer or a Trail Rides ticket for the whole year. So that's going to open up season 3. And a brand new toothbrush. That's all the man wanted. And I think that's fantastic. That's the message you should be sending out there. Do good unto others as you would do to yourself, and great things will happen. Recently in my life, things have happened in a very mysterious way. Now, I want to go back to last year, 2023, for those who are still stuck in that mindset. And one day, I think it was in July, I was walking down the street, and lo and behold, I gazed at the ground and saw a lot of £20 notes. Now, what was significant about this? They weren't scattered all over the place. They were in one neat formation like a fan. Of course, when I told a couple of friends about what happened, and yes, I did take the money because I figure if I'm not going to take it, someone else is going to be lucky and get it. And that's, I believe in the phrase, finders keepers, losers weepers, right? And yeah, some people have said, well, maybe an alien zapped the money and for some reason you saw it. But then I actually believe what happened. Somebody was just in a mood where they wanted to relinquish their grip of money and left it in such a formation that it would stand out. And yes, to my roving little eye, it really did stand out. And it was fate. And I'm a big believer in fate. Now, I don't know if fate and God are one and the same or completely different. The definition of fate is a predetermined set of events or an event that's out of your control, and there's a hint of a supernatural element to all of that. I know what you're thinking. I'm sounding very gobbledygook at the moment. Is this a case for the X-Files? Well, certainly not, because I think it's really great that people like Rickson, Jim Caviezel, Mel Gibson are all speaking about their beliefs in terms of what they do, which is acting in Hollywood, one of the most corrupt and vile places ever. I mean, Mel Gibson, for example, he's been referred to as God's soldier. And a lot of the views he's mentioned in that documentary, if you can find it, it was on Channel 4 quite a few years ago. I'd probably say in the late 1990s. But it's certainly an eye-opening documentary, that is for sure. While I'm not a believer in God, I'd probably call myself agnostic more than anything else. I would say that I'm not disruling or disputing the fact that there is fate out there. Fate guides my life. It is guiding me in a way that it's been beneficial. I mean, I'm starting a brand new job this week, hopefully, and it ticks all my check boxes in terms of me staying on YouTube, being able to do YouTube a lot more, and looking after my mum at the same time. And I think it was something that was destined for me to have, and I'm just really, really excited about starting this new job very soon. It's definitely what you wouldn't expect me to do, and sadly, it's not me running the next Playboy Mansion, because that would actually be my dream job. Sadly, it's not. But this is the next best thing, and at YouTube, and I'm really, really happy about that. Now, before I sign off, you cretins, let's react to one more video which I saw Alan Rickson talking about.
In prayer, and ultimately concludes that God is evil.
Manifest this. I prayed for this. I'm not lucky. I am covered.
Howdy. My name is Jarma, and I live in the Bible Belt. And I see people talk like this all day long on the internet. Oh, God has answered my prayers. I am so blessed. We have been praying for this. For one, God cannot answer prayers because that would be interfering with free will. But let's say he does answer prayers. When you spout on the internet or in front of people that a God has answered your prayers, do you know what you're really saying? You're saying this God is so powerful that he has blessed you specifically. That means he's picking and choosing who to bless. Do you know how many children are praying not to get...
Yep, I'm going to freeze that there, but she's actually right. I agree with that. It's like if you're asking the Lord above to grant you certain desires and everything else, and it all happens for you, Well, I wouldn't say it's the almighty, Bruce Almighty maybe, that's done this for you. It could be just sheer luck or coincidence this has all happened, or by some other token, yes, maybe he will grant certain people certain wishes, which could be nefarious. But she's absolutely right. You know, if he's granting one particular wish to certain people, then why is everybody else all exempt? That makes no sense to me at all. So again, yeah, free will obviously exists, because without free will, we wouldn't be able to sit here in front of a webcam and talk absolute doo-doo to millions of people around the world on a thing called YouTube. So I'd like to know your thoughts today, boys and girls, about this video I made. I mean, I'm not doing this for clout. I'm certainly not doing it for any other reason than in the last few weeks, especially just after Christmas, I decided to take a leap of faith, and so far it could be going my way. And if it doesn't, I will do what the Romans never dared to do, which is just give up. And never give up, never surrender. You know, one of my favorite movies of all time, which of course is No Retreat, No Surrender, because that kind of defeatist attitude is just not going to get you anywhere. That's why I stuck with YouTube. Last year, I was going to quit, but two gentlemen whose names I shall not reveal here were great sources of inspiration. They reached out to me and said, no, dude, you got to carry on with this. It doesn't matter what pitfalls come your way. You just got to keep on going. And that's I can't have that defeatist mentality. Even this new job I've got, you know, I can't give it up after a few days or a few weeks because, oh my God, it's too much for my fragile ego. Nope, I'm sticking with it because I'm never going to get this opportunity ever again for this kind of work arrangement. It fits in so perfectly with what I'm doing in my normal life. It's fantastic. And it's in the greatest part of London ever, which I'm even more buzzed and excited about.
That was beautiful.
And again, I'm more of a believer in fate and karma. If you do good things will happen back to you. Am I perfect? Definitely not. I proclaim never to be perfect. And anybody who says they are is full of complete and utter bullshit. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you leave a like below. Turn around and sing 3 Hail Marys in a row and your sins will be forgiven. I don't know if that's actually true, but it sounded fun saying that. And if you were me, and if I were you, you better come back for the next video.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? 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 I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
Run for your life! I'll cover you!